First of all, I come from a long line of tricks and hoes. Yes, I come from a long line of hoes. I'm not the first one, maybe in this generation, but it go all the way back to slavery time. And before then, with the Egyptians and the Moors, a long line of selling. I'm not the first one. My auntie, my mama don't like me saying her name in my interviews. Grandmama, great grandmama.
What are Sexy Red's fans called?
Hoochie babies.
Hoochie babies.
Cause I'm a hoochie mama. I'm their mother.
I'm really a whore. Like I'm a like with a W. Like I'm a whore.
But define that though.
Like I'm a whore.
Black femininity does not equate to prostitution. It does not equate to being a whore. It doesn't equate to being a thought, a slut, a paid sex worker, any of those different things. They are not synonymous. Now, the fact that I even have to say this is partially the problem. I have to sit here and explain why prostitution is not a good look. Again, like just think about that for a couple of seconds. Like, just think about how problematic that is. No healthy, thriving society is praising or uplifting a lifestyle that for thousands of years has pretty much been hidden or on the hush hush. But anyways, I digress. I recently posted something that got a few feathers ruffled, and it's basically that I'm tired of seeing Black femininity equated with prostitution, and I'm tired of seeing prostitutes put on a pedestal, given a microphone, given a platform, and told to represent and speak for who we are. That is a total degradation. That is completely disrespectful. It is a disgrace, and ultimately it's destructive. Black femininity does not equate to prostitution. It does not equate to being a whore. It doesn't equate to being a thought, a slut, a paid sex worker, any of those different things. They are not synonymous. But somehow it just seems that anything related to Black femininity in pop culture, at least in America, is always associated with whoredom, whether it is explicitly or it is implicit. But nevertheless, it's like you always see a Black face associated with something degrading, a Black female body associated with something degrading, almost always. It's either that or they're in some position where they're practicing a form of self-hatred. But it's very rare that you see Black women put in positions of dignity. And if they are in position of dignity, they're usually not with like a Black family. But anyways, that's a whole nother tangent. If we're just speaking specifically to how a Black woman portrays her body and her self-worth and her sexuality and her sexual value, it is to hell. Right now, the way it's being portrayed is to hell. And so the very fact that I have to say that prostitutes should not be the spokesperson for Black women, again, is part of the problem. Like the fact that I even have to say this even has to be a discussion, again, is a big issue. But the fact that also there is people who got triggered, to me, speaks to my bigger point. There is this message out there that has been going on for a long time. This is not new, but it's this continuous need to try to push against and to grade the value and the worth of Black women. And unfortunately, there's many of them who buy into that. And let it be clear, all women in the USA of all ethnicities are doing effery, right? They're all doing BS. They're all doing the same ratchet stuff, period. It just so happens that Black women seem to be the mascot of it, and they seem to have the loudest voice, right? Sometimes we're the most bold, and we are the most upfront about the dastardly deeds that we do. At least some of these other cultures have better PR. They're doing the same stuff, but at least they have a better reputation around it. But Black women, again, they are the poster child pretty much for anything related to degradation. And that's just a problem. And honestly, what triggered me, I think I ran across a couple of videos of a Black woman going viral for just saying, quite frankly, just really dumb stuff. And you're listening to them and you're just like, you're giving relationship advice, you're giving marital advice, and you're a prostitute. Like, does somebody not see a problem here? Like, if I want to go on a diet, I'm not going to now go and talk to somebody who is 500 pounds overweight and try to get their diet tips. Like, I wouldn't do that. I'm going to go to a person that has a proven track record of success, maybe a personal trainer, somebody who's, I don't know, done Tough Mudder, who has done races or whatever. Like, I'm going to go to somebody who has shown me in their life that they actually know what they're doing. But somehow when it comes to relationships and when it comes to cultural or social issues, we just feel like anybody should just have the microphone. And not just anybody. It's almost like we choose the people who are in their lowest state, people who are down on their luck. It's like those people we want to get a microphone. And that honestly just gets annoying, because I'm just like, this is continuing to promote the propaganda that is essentially degrading and ultimately leading to destruction among women. And I'm calling out Black women just because, as I mentioned before, we tend to be the poster child when it comes to anything degrading, especially related to sex. We're the poster child for it. But of course, all women are impacted by this. And the other thing that really bothers me is that we're not being honest about what that lifestyle even entails. A lot of times it's promoted as if it is some glamorous way. You see the money, you see these perfect looking bodies, these fake, right? But perfect looking bodies. You see the bags, you see the money, you see the makeup, you see the wigs and the weaves. Like, you see everything on point aesthetically. And it's a lot of times they're promoting this luxurious lifestyle, but you are almost never seeing the cost associated with that. And best believe the cost is far higher than what those things are even worth. Because maybe you're getting the money, maybe you're getting, if you're successful, because you got a lot of prostitutes out there who aren't even successful. If you were the small percentage of prostitutes who are actually successful and able to make a pretty decent living, or even a good living at that, there's still things that they're talking about, right? That lifestyle can never ever deal with the low self-esteem, shame, and ultimately degradation that many of those women feel most of the time, which is why it is so common to find ladies who are in that lifestyle, who are addicted to drugs, alcohol, on some form of pills, or always on some form of substance. They can never fully be sober, because for them to be in full reality might be a little bit too much for them. Because there might be too many emotions they have to face that, quite frankly, they just don't really want to deal with. And so you have to, so you can't be sober. You have to always be under the influence of something in order to be okay and to deal with the constant shame that you're putting on yourself when you are involved in that kind of lifestyle. Not to mention the different spiritual portals that you are opening yourself into if you want to go down that road, and not to mention the way that you're degrading your body, and it's like you're constantly inviting these spirits and these different energies, however you want to put it, into your life. It is not a good way to live. Even if you want to argue that there's money associated with it and this is all you could do and you're just trying to pay the bills, even if you want to make that argument, there is no way you can explain away the impact it has psychologically on a woman and spiritually on a woman, which is why I said before, why are these women almost always addicted, or they always have to be under the influence of something? If it's not drugs, if it's not alcohol, if it's not pills, always looking for that quick fix to try to deal with the internal emptiness that it brings. So no, I'm not going to sit here and act like this is a lifestyle that we need to promote. No, when I know it is damaging women, and then you see these other young girls who are going up, and every representation they see of a Black woman is her acting like a fool and acting like a prostitute, and they think that's all they're supposed to be. And it's not. It is a lie, and it is evil, and it is demonic, and it is destroying women. And so all y'all can be mad at me, but I'm not saying this because I hate you. I'm not even saying this because I hate prostitutes. I don't. Anything. I'm sad that they believe that that is the best that they can do, because I've yet to meet a person who grew up in a healthy, loving, supportive environment where they had a mom and a dad who believed in them, believed in their dreams, and they came to the conclusion that they wanted to sell their body to men or women that they didn't like every single day to make a living. I've yet to see that happen. I've yet to see somebody be nurtured and taken care of and valued, and come to the conclusion that I now want to actively sell my body, Now I know sometimes people, they grow up in a nice environment and they get caught in drugs and fall into stuff. Like, I know things happen. Usually those things kind of happen if there was like some form of sexual abuse or something that spiraled that caused that person to go into that lifestyle. But again, my point is, a person usually isn't turning to that as their first choice. That is my point. More often than not, these are ladies who feel they have no better option. And that is what makes me sad, because actually, I don't believe that's the case. God did not make Black women to just be society's whore or prostitute. We have the potential as women to be valuable, to be free of that internal weight and that emptiness. And I'm saying this not because I hate women or think I'm better than them, none of that. I'm saying this because, again, it is destroying people. And I just want it to be said that that is not your only option. That is not your only option. I have walked with women before. I've known women who've been in prostitution before and who have done different things like that, who've regretted it and who have gotten out of it. It's completely possible. If you are, however, in that place, I'm not here to shame you, and I'm not here to say that you are a horrible person. I would just invite you to consider that there actually might be a better way for you. You may not even see it right now, and you may feel like this is the best you can do. But I'm here to tell you that God didn't create you to be a prostitute. His desire and goal for you is not that you continuously engage in behaviors that is inviting so much shame, guilt, and other negative energy, not to mention the different danger you're putting yourself in. And even if some of you guys are just doing it on OnlyFans, and maybe it's not as dangerous, but there's still other issues associated with that. I believe God created you for so much more, far beyond than you just selling your body. And some women think that's the best they can do. Like, the only thing they have to offer is their body, and there's nothing else better than that. And that's what I think the lie is. Many of us are living below our God-given purpose. And so we are reacting out of our pain. We're reacting out of the emptiness inside that we feel, out of our own brokenness, and we're not living out the fullness. But it is possible to be confident in from within and have peace from within and not need different men to validate us, and to actually have jobs or careers that are lucrative enough that don't require us to sell our soul. All of those things are possible. All of them. I've literally seen it in other people. I serve a God who is constantly trying to restore people and bring them out of their messy life and help them get into a better situation. So again, I'm just here to say that there are better options. And if that is something that interests you, I would love to talk to you more about it. So I recently started a page that's going to be exclusively dedicated to developing our spiritual side, knowing what it means to fight against a lot of these lies about our identity, to completely separate ourselves from all these ideas and all these beliefs and all these practices that are ultimately harming us, and learning how to get closer with God and ultimately live better, more fulfilling, peaceful lives. So if that interests you, be sure to check out my new channel. So I'm ultimately here to say this. Ladies, you do not have to live. And you do not have to accept the lies that are continuously being told about who you are, told about who the Black woman is, who her image is, who she's supposed to be. You don't have to accept that. And you do not have to believe that. You do not. There is another better way to live. And God did not create you for that. But if you accept it, and if you don't push against this narrative, and if you don't go another way, and if you don't choose God's way, ultimately the results speak for itself. We see what the results of this lifestyle is, and it is nothing positive. So I just wanted to be honest about that. I could sit here and lie and try to, say, yes, queen, sister girl, yeah, I could do all that stuff, but like, why? I mean, a lot of us have already been lied to enough, and it's not helping nobody. So that's what I wanted to say. But anyways, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. Leave your questions, comments, concerns in the comment section below. Again, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel, and be sure to like and subscribe to my other channel. Again, I'd like to engage in you more on these concepts and really get down the nitty-gritty about what it means to push back against some of these ideas and what it would take to change our lives. So anyways, thank you so much for listening if you've gotten this far, and we'll talk later. Okay, bye.